Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of According To Kaz Queen. And as always, I am Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
And welcome to this little podcast of ours. These are conversations that happen between a husband and wife in the privacy of our own home, but we bring it to you guys in public, if you will, to start a conversation between husbands and wives, men and women, friends and lovers, all those people in between. And we hope you have been enjoying all of the episodes up to now on episode 48 as we are working our way to the end of season 2. We've made it through almost 2 seasons.
When is the end of the season?
50.
Oh.
We're doing 25.
Y'all got 2 more.
We're going 25 episodes a season. You know what I'm saying? We're going in. You know, we giving you this content is what we're doing. All right. So, yeah, we're almost at the end of season 2. And, of course, you can hear us on all streaming services, wherever you stream your podcast, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Buzzsprout, all those places in between. And you can hear us on Black with No Chaser Radio. All right. Make sure that you download the BWNC Radio app. That is the BWNC Radio app in the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. Check us out there every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And then there's a replay on Thursday. So check us out on there with all those other great podcasts that are there. A lot of great Black podcasters and Black creatives that are giving to Black with No Chaser. Make sure that you check out that website when you get a chance. And, of course, you can check us out on YouTube. All right. So make sure that you are subscribing to the YouTube page, youtube.com/Brad Kamikaze Franklin. Bam. When I put my finger right there, you know what time it is. Make sure that you are subscribing to that YouTube page right there. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications, man. You'll be able to check us out every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You'll be able to see us. You'll be able to leave questions. You'll be able to leave comments. You know, we love to hear from our folks. We had a couple of new people commenting on the last episode of According to Kaz Queen on episode 47. And we appreciate the feedback, of course, and we appreciate all the people who see us out and say that they enjoy what we're doing. And we're going to try to keep these conversations going. It's a labor of love, but, you know, we want to give you this content, man, and give you this good conversation because we think that we talk about good stuff in our home. We laugh about a lot of stuff here in our home. And of course, this is brought to you by the Kundi Collection. All right. So make sure you go to the website, www.kundicollective.com, www.kundicollective.com. There's a lot of great designs. This is one of them right here. We ain't negotiating our liberation. All right. I had this t-shirt on in Kroger the other day, as a matter of fact, and an older gentleman saw my t-shirt. He was kind of staring at it for a second. I didn't know what he had going on, but he said, I like that t-shirt. And I was like, I appreciate it. He was like, you about what that t-shirt talk about? And I was like,
come on, black man.
I wouldn't have it on if I didn't. He was like, all right. And then he walked off.
Oh, my God. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And I hadn't had this on in a minute, but, you know, I think because of the times that we are in, I think it was time for me to pull it back out again. So you can go to www.kundicollective.com and you can get the We Ain't Negotiating Our Liberation because it's not under and up for negotiation. We're going to get our liberation and we're going to get it by what?
Any means necessary.
Any means necessary. See how you knew exactly what to put in there.
Phrase.
You know that. Well, yeah, you did.
Sometimes he be forgetting what I be doing, y'all.
All right. So, yeah, we on the heels of experiencing one of the hottest weeks, I think, on the planet Earth. I think I read.
Yeah, I read that.
One of the hottest weeks that we have had. Climate change is a real thing. I hope everybody is taking that serious. You know, just reading comments from folks on social media and seeing people talking about, you know, what's been going on in their own homes. You know, folks are cutting this AC on and cutting it up and keeping it on, and your house is still not getting cool, and your house is not getting cool the entire day, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with your AC. It's just incredibly hot outside.
That's true. But, you know, I realized we had a Whispers and Screams session, a meditation group last Sunday, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But we did a grounding exercise, and a part of that exercise was to convene with and be under the sun. So we were intentional about allowing sunlight to fill us. Mm-hmm. And so what I thought about while you were talking about that is the sun seems to be a burden to us because of the heat that it provides, right? But when you're intentional about being a part of and connecting to the sun, there is a real magical thing that happens because we are melanated people powered by the sun.
We're children of the sun.
So if you do get a chance and take the notion, take a minute to, as my husband often says, take a minute to touch grass underneath that sunlight and allow yourself to be cleansed and refilled, restored at the same time, because it's a powerful thing. The Whispers and Screams group was absolutely epic. And so I know firsthand what that power can be. It can be very, very significant to your growth and your release process, your clarity level, all of that. So if you get a minute, and it don't take long. The sun is always operating on our behalf, so it doesn't take long. Just take 5 minutes to go out there and touch grass and lift your head up and let the sun bathe on you. You'll be surprised. It will be hot, and I'm not asking you to go out there and, neglect your health, but I'm asking you to be very intentional about appreciating the sun and being thankful for what it provides for us.
There's power in the sun and the sun's rays. It's not just spirituality, it's science as well, but everything in moderation. Everything that's pretty strong, huh?
My God.
Everything in moderation and in its due space and in its due place. So, get you some sunlight, but also do not get a heat stroke or a heat exhaustion.
Taking some water out there.
So understanding now that we're in the times now where, the sun and nature, they're going to do what they want to do. We are at their mercy. We are at their beck and call. So try as you might with your AC units and all the things that you have. Like now we're at a point now where your AC is only going to be able to do so much during the day, which is, crazy. But these are the times that we are in. So, of course, we send, prayers out to those people who are not fortunate or who are having AC issues or having to deal with that. Man, I can't even imagine, because we were talking about when I stayed at my grandparents' house, my big mama had us in the back room and we just had that box fan in the window. And that was it when we stayed,
And it was hot.
But
it wasn't this.
It wasn't this hot.
Like, we haven't been taking care of the earth. And I think that we are reaping the repercussions of that right now.
We felt like it was hot then. I'm going to tell you, being, so my mother grew up in Neshoba County in Philadelphia, Mississippi, as a matter of fact. So we would go there for our summers. And for us, because we, of course, my mother and my father, lived in Jackson. We were born here. So we were in a house that had central air and heat the entire time. So for us, it was always funny because I had never experienced that kind of heat before in my life going to my grandparents' house. I thought it was the hottest, most uncomfortable thing that I'd ever experienced.
You had cousins that were around that were there, and they had
no issue with it at all. So they had none. They was, and a lot of times they didn't even have a box fan. We got the box fan in there just because we just whined to the point where she was like, all right, well, y'all just get this box fan and put it in the window. And of course, that provided some air and circulation. But, my cousins that stayed up there, they just had the window open. And, that was it. And they just lay out on the bed and they be wrapped up like, whatever. And it was cool. But to me, this was the hottest I'd ever been. Just sleeping in heat and just uncomfort at my grandparents' house. But now that I think back on it, those were some very nice, comfortable, chill evenings compared to what we've had lately. Especially like when we had the thunderstorms and the lights went out. We ain't here dealing with that. It's really hot. So be careful out there. Still got a lot of summer left. We're in Jackson, Mississippi, so I've been seeing folks in Phoenix and other places that are having temperatures that are getting up to like 110 degrees, heat index. So, we're blessed in, that respect, but it's kind of hot everywhere. Even people in the Northeast are experiencing 90-degree weather, and that's hot for them up there. It's nothing for us, but it's hot for them. But at any rate, a pretty eventful week. A lot of crazy things were going on. We got to talk about this Carlee Russell thing, and I think in seeing this Carlee Russell thing unfold, we had kind of had this discussion before, and we talked about it when we were talking about Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx incidentally just made a statement a few days ago, his first public statement, kind of speaking after his illness. A lot of people had a lot to say about that, but you kind of juxtaposing those two issues, and Carlee kind of just happening. You had some thoughts on that.
Yeah, maybe we should update on what's going on with
Well, I
Carlee
mean,
first.
for those of you that have been under a rock and don't know what's happening, of course, Carlee Russell was a young lady in Alabama who went missing for a weekend, and the nation mobilized itself, in an effort to try to locate her and find her. It was speculated that she stopped on the side of the road somewhere because she saw an infant on the side of the road, and allegedly, or everyone thought that she had possibly been abducted. So
She said she was abducted.
she said that she was abducted. So law enforcement got on the case. Everybody was looking. They were using all of their resources and all of their manpower to try to find this young lady. And of course, we've had the issue with folks feeling like, the lives of black women are not as important. And, law enforcement doesn't mobilize their forces behind missing black people as they do with missing white people. So there were a lot of people looking for her. And even then, there were still some people who had speculation even as she was missing. And it turns out that she showed back up at home after a couple of days. And law enforcement, being who they are, did a little bit of investigating and found out that there was actually no abduction, and that she had kind of just went out on a lark for a little while. We don't know the circumstances yet because she has not actually spoken to the press.
I don't think they've said there was no abduction.
Yeah, they did. They checked the phone records.
They saw that she had watched Googled Taken, the movie. They saw that she Googled how much an Amber Alert cost.
She'd also Googled how to get away with stealing money from cash register.
Yeah.
Several other things in your Google search that law enforcement can retrieve. I saw a lot of people after that saying that, hey, erase your Google search. Well, I want to tell you right now, if you are ever planning on doing anything criminal and you've Google searched, just because you erase it from your device, it's not gone. I want to be very clear on that, okay? You can't Google how to kill my wife on your laptop and then erase it and be like, I got away scot-free on that one. They'll never catch me now. It's in the cloud, ladies and gentlemen. And if you Googled it, all they have to do is get with your internet provider, wherever you were at that time, whatever Wi-Fi you were on, they can go in and they can find out what you searched. So just FYI, if any of you were thinking about offing somebody or,
Whatever.
disappearing, whatever it is that you were trying to do, erasing it from your device works well. Because, somebody in your house is trying to check your device, then they won't see it. But if you do something and the police check it, they're going to find something. Okay. Back up to 2 years, I believe they said. They can find whatever it is that you search. So that's just an FYI that we put out there because, we like to be in the habit of public service announcements to our listeners. So I just want to, put that in there. They also were able to tell that while she was on a 911 call, she traveled 600 feet. While she was on the 911 call, 600 yards, I think they said, 6 football fields. So while she was on the 911 call, she was walking on her way to wherever it was that she was rendezvousing at that time.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
She also took snacks
She took snacks.
that
and
they didn't find in the car.
They didn't find the snacks, and they have a video of her buying the snacks as well. This was not thought out well at all.
But she's 25.
Yeah.
But so this is what I wanted to discuss. So tying that in with Jamie, we had a previous discussion on a podcast, earlier podcast, about the responsibility of celebrities to come back after Jamie it was reported that he had an illness and prayers were being sent, whether they were asked for by the family or not.
Right.
People joined together to pray on behalf and intercede for Jamie. And he had not said anything or something. And we were talking about the amount of responsibility he has to say something. And because people were getting upset that he was apparently making a recovery and had not addressed the public. Right. So people were upset that he hadn't done that. I, for one, also felt, because I am a fan of Jamie, felt like he should say something. And you were like still tossing with the idea of this is not his responsibility. If you pray, just pray.
Yes.
Don't worry about. Okay.
Yes.
So this has happened again with Carlee, with people saying, don't ask for prayers on your lying foolishness, And so there are some people who feel like if you're praying for her, just pray regardless. And and then other people are like, don't waste my prayers. So this also makes me think about Jussie Smollett.
Juicy Smollett, as Dave Chappelle calls him.
Yes.
But it's Jussie
because this is
Smollett.
actually a mirrored situation.
Pretty much.
Carlee and him, which he never did come out and explain.
And he mobilized even more expensive resources from law enforcement than Carlee did because of who he was.
Yeah. So I've been tossing with how I actually feel about this, because for me, it hits different with Jamie than it does with Carlee. I will say that I did not extend any prayers on her behalf, just because I had not been following the story. So, and Jamie, I actually did. So, my stand then was, I want to know if my prayer landed, So I've been tossing with how I actually feel about that now in relation. And I think that I have landed on the fact that I'm going to hold my prayers until I feel like there is something that my spirit can connect to about the story. And if I feel connected to the story and feel like my prayers are going to contribute positively in any form to whatever the situation is, then I'll pray. If not, because I am the person who has prayer power. So I do want to pray to assist or positively guide a situation for an individual. Not that, so basically what I'm saying is I'm going to be careful about where I lend my prayers, because for me, I do connect to the individual that I'm praying for, whether they know it or not, when I send my prayers. So I'm going to be very careful about where I lend them, because I don't want to attach to something. And then it doesn't matter to me what happens in the situation, if she lying or not. Maybe my prayer, it will be that this situation works out to the good and will of God, whatever that is. So if she lying, let that work out too. If she was in a bad situation, let that work out. So then it doesn't really matter as long as God's will is done for me.
So that's fair. My stand on it is kind of what it was originally. My thoughts and prayers don't come with terms and conditions. My thoughts and prayers, I'm going to give them. And then whatever happens, happens. After that, when Carlee came up missing as a father who, has an adult child, has an adult children, if any of mine go missing, I want your thoughts and prayers. I want them to return home safely. The prayer and the thought was for Carlee to return home safely. She returned home safely. So for me, what happens after that, we can talk about it. We can analyze it. We can make, adjustments for the next time, whatever the case is. But the thoughts and prayers for me were, please let this young lady return home safely, because I would want my kids to return home safely. Let Jamie be okay, because I'm a father and a husband, and I understand what his family is probably going through with this illness, because he's probably the patriarch and probably the person, the engine that makes that entire family go. So it was important that he get well, and he's gotten well. So he didn't owe me anything after that, and Carlee doesn't really owe me an explanation. If she gives one, that's fine. It's clear now through law enforcement that, what she said happened did not happen. So whatever the reason being that she did that, I hope she gets the help that she needs. A lot of people were saying that she, quote unquote, disappeared so that she could be seen. She didn't feel seen, so she disappeared. You can speculate all day. Some people said it was a nervous breakdown. Some people say she went to lay up. It could have been a combination of all of those things. Even if somebody goes missing and they go in a layup, if they're missing and they have not connected or contacted anyone, there's anything that could be happening. I want them to return home safely. So for me, I'm going to, pray that there is a good outcome from the very beginning, regardless of what I know, because I would want somebody to do it for me. I always put myself in the position of, if this was me, I always put myself in that position, and I wouldn't want people asking questions. I wouldn't want people speculating. I wouldn't want people saying that, this might be this and this might be that. If one of mine goes missing, if you're going to pray, I want you to pray, and I want you to pray hard, and I want you to pray unconditionally. That's what I would want. So I would just want somebody else to do the very same thing for me. So that's what I would do. I don't know if that's different than what you were saying, but that's kind of where I'm at. You think that's different?
Not really.
Not really. So there were people that saw the video from Jamie Foxx. We incidentally just watched a couple of days ago. We watched They Cloned Tyrone that Jamie Foxx was in. And it's ironic because people are now saying that the person who made the statement, and that was Jamie Foxx, they are saying that that's a clone. What you got?
I'm just over people.
They're stupid. People are dumb.
It's ridiculous. Regardless, even the Carlee thing, like regardless of how the situation turned out, I think that as a society, we are mismanaging each other. The idea that this is something to joke about now, the memes that I'm seeing, some of them are funny. I'm not taking away from the hilarity of it.
Yes.
But just recognizing the state that we are in as a people, as a race, a human race, is really discouraging. Because what I see is a person that needs help, like mental, spiritual help.
Yes.
I see that. And it's hard for me. It's hard for me to shift that. I really try, because I don't know this woman. But it's hard for me to shift that into something so trivial as she lied. She just went to go lay up, because she researched this. It was completely premeditated. Like, she put time and effort into this plan. And so something's AWire. Something ain't right. Something in the sauce ain't sticking. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Which I have more, empathy and compassion for that part than I do I prayed for you and you lied, So I'm still working through that. I don't know if that is a good way to be, or if I'm being naive. I'm not real sure. I'm still kind of working through processing that and figuring out, how I feel about praying on behalf of people that you don't have necessarily have a connection with, as in somebody that's around you all the time. I mean, it's easy to pray for people so I'm still tossing around that.
I really want people to start reading more. I mean, we've got a generation of really, and I say this with all due respect, we have a generation of dummies walking around here, really, really dumb people who don't read now. And because of social media, I'm so tired of seeing everything be reduced to some type of conspiracy theory. It is the laziest way to come up with something. And the bad thing about it is that these people think that they're being intelligent. They think that they're being smart. They think that, they are being different. They're traveling some type of rarely traveled path.
I don't even know if they think that much into it.
They think they're going against the grain. They think they're seeing things differently. I see things differently. I'm cut a different way. I think differently. You're an idiot is what you are. DC Young Fly did not sacrifice his children's mother. This is not a clone of Jamie Foxx. This is a man who lost weight because he had a stroke and had to lay up. I have a brother who had a stroke, who, if you see him or saw him after a few months of him having that stroke, you would not have known that he had one. I know people that have had mild strokes and even mid-level strokes. Severe strokes is a different thing. Known a couple of people that had severe strokes. And although they move a little different, although they may not have full use of all of their limbs, they still look like they did pre-stroke. But he clearly lost weight. He was clearly in a room that was lit differently. This was not some place where he was in a studio where they could doctor the photos. He wasn't on the runway. He was on some type of device. And he made a video thanking people who incidentally were saying, hey, we're giving you our thoughts and prayers. You should give us an update. He gave people the update when he was ready to give people the update. And there are people on social media putting up pictures of him a couple of years ago next to the picture of him making a statement a couple of days ago and saying, oh, that's not him. That can't be him.
Well, I remember the conversation we had, and I did say that I would like to hear from Jamie.
Yeah.
And there's no time frame on that. You do it when you get ready. So
Correct.
I'm thankful that he was able to reach out and make a video and show us who he is and how he's doing. Not because we didn't believe him, not because of any of that, but because I felt connected enough to pray. I want to see how you doing. I want to see if you're okay and how you making it. And he didn't do anything it didn't appear that he did anything to falsify his condition. Like he was just there talking.
Did you watch the whole video?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't watch the whole video. Kind of what was the gist of what he was saying?
He was, giving thanks to people, kind of giving us a evasive insight into the struggles. He didn't name his illness in the clip that I saw. He didn't name anything. He did speak about the clone thing. He made a little joke about it, like he was finna tear his face off.
I gotta go back and watch that.
Yeah, that was very Jamie. He said that he didn't come forward before because he did not want us to see him in an unhealthy way. He said he wanted us to remember him and see him as Jamie, the guy who's making jokes or who's singing, and he didn't want us to see him that way. I think you mentioned that. Yeah. And that is fair. And he was not himself. Now, if you're looking at it and you're looking for him to be the same way, he wasn't that. Right. He was definitely convalescent and rebuilding. But he said as much.
We talked about this before. You remember we had the conversation about Martin Lawrence. And we were watching the old Martin and, watching him now, watching him in the reunion and watching him in Bad Boys 3. The Martin that we knew on the show, Martin, we'll never see him again. That guy will never see after.
Well, I ain't gonna never see my 20-year-old self or 30-year-old self again.
Well, I'm saying after the breakdown, after him having the heat stroke in the jogging suit when he went running in the big suit and he passed out and he had to go to the hospital, and then being in the middle of the street, acting crazy, and they took him in, the whole thing, all of those episodes that he had, the health issues that he had. After he came out of that, he was a different person. Mm-hmm. His humor was different, even the roles that he was taking on was different. And, these kind of things change people. Strokes and heart attacks and, long illnesses, they change people.
Well, the truth is that most of us experience these types of things that change us as well. They may not be as, it may not be an illness or a near-death experience, but we have experiences throughout our lives that shift us from where we were to getting closer to what we are becoming. Mm-hmm. And the difference is that if you're not watching close enough, you might miss it, which is why you have family members who are never able to make the jump over to who you are now, and they still treat you like they did when you were 11 and 12 years old. So that's a real thing.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this. I sent you something in your inbox, as I always do, and this is kind of on the relationship and the couple tip. So there was a video that was kind of making the rounds on Twitter. There was a young lady who was talking about a conversation that she had in the gym with a coworker. He came over to her and they were, kind of talking gym talk. And then he goes on to compliment her and say that, she was talking about taking creatine, for being sore after workout, which incidentally is a pretty good thing. I'm gonna talk to you about that too as well. But it's a road, you got to be ready to go down. But at any rate, I digress. So he was saying to her that, yada, yada, yada. Once you get a boyfriend, you won't have to worry about that. You'll have somebody there to, whatever. I don't know what he meant by once you have a boyfriend, but, she responded with, thank you. I appreciate that. Nobody's going to ever date me. And he was like, no, of course they will. You're beautiful. And he walked off. That was the end of the conversation. Turns out that this gentleman, I guess, was married or engaged, and the woman on the video was like, oh my God, I can't believe he said those things. I would not want my fiance saying that to someone. I would Romeo and Juliet it, which, of course, those of you who have not read Romeo and Juliet, of course, they, committed double suicide. I guess they took poison at the end.
What does she mean by that? She'll take poison with him?
She meant she's going to poison him. I guess she said she was going to Romeo and Juliet it, is what she said. But she was like, this is one of the reasons why I'm not out of here dating, because I wouldn't want somebody saying that. So basically, the question to you is, and I guess our relationship question for this week is, the gentleman saying that she was beautiful and walking off. She didn't even say he said anything else. He said, oh, no, of course not. You'll have somebody. You're beautiful. And he walked off. She felt that was inappropriate for someone who was engaged. Your thoughts?
I don't think it was inappropriate at all. I think he was a black man who was uplifting a black woman. And that's what should be happening.
Yes.
But if you're not used to that, or if you have your own insecurities,
here we go.
Then you will receive it from your own perspective.
And you'll receive it from a place of disrespect.
Yeah. But I think that she already mentioned and showed her card when she said, I wouldn't get a boyfriend. So she obviously has low self-value in some area, some way, shape, or form. And he was trying to restore her and build her up and lift her up.
Probably wasn't even thinking 2 times about it.
And even if he was, which I don't think he was either, but even if he was, he did not do or say anything out the way to her.
Correct.
She internalized it, switched it around, and made it fit her own personal narrative, and then made it a reality. So now she believes that, but that was never his intention. And I think if he said it to me, I wouldn't take it that way. I would have just said, thanks, brother, and kept it moving. Right. She done dissected his whole relationship. You took your wife to Greece 3 weeks ago. How you saying this, sis? You reaching. You reaching, sis. Like, you need to really figure that out, because that's a you thing. That's not a him thing.
Yeah.
That's a you thing. So now you're going to have brothers out there afraid to give us compliments. Like, that's crazy.
We go too far. I mean, I don't know, what was he supposed to say? You is ugly.
The part that she should have possibly, or could have possibly had some concern about, was him saying, when you get a boyfriend, you're not going to have to worry about that. Yeah. That might have been considered inappropriate, but it depends on what he meant. We don't know what he meant by that. There might be a real specific training type of response to that.
Yes.
But the you're beautiful, you will get a man, that was certainly not inappropriate.
And he was not saying me, you will get me. He was saying you will get a man. It's not going to be me. Parentheses, ... You're beautiful. You'll find somebody. Boom, and he was gone.
Yeah,
and that was it. And she admitted that he left. And I think social media in a lot of instances has, brought a lot of these glaring insecurities that people have to light, and they are able to express these glaring insecurities. But I mean, it's crazy to the point now where, and I know because there are a lot of creeps out there that destroy it for everyone.
A creep wouldn't have left it like that.
Yes, a creep would have kept digging, trying to hook it in.
Yep.
He'd have left. He'd have came back a couple of times, because a creep is going to actually try to get a response.
He going to land.
Yes.
Creeps, ABC, they always be closing. They always be closing.
Creeps that ABC always be creepy.
Always be creepy.
Always be creepy. Always be closing. But, ladies, every guy that gives you a compliment is not trying to holler at you. I mean,
would you feel uncomfortable giving a woman a compliment like, I think you're beautiful?
No, I would do it as
As affirmation?
reaffirmation.
Not necessarily reaffirmation because they may not know it.
Or it may be affirmation.
So
This
what
drink
about
could not
running?
have possibly done this to me this fast.
Would it be, are you willing to run the risk that she might misinterpret it? Because you never know who is going.
There's the issue because then there's the thing of they can walk off. Girl, Queen's husband tried to holler at me in the gym. He said I was beautiful.
And I used to tell you about that early on in our relationship.
I know.
But you tried to put it off on me. But
I wasn't really putting it off on you, but I was just kind of saying that's ridiculous.
But it's not though. This is evidence that it's not.
Okay.
Because women see things from their personal, well, everybody does, come up with decisions, ideas, and opinions based on their life experience. And you, as a person not knowing their life experience, saying to a woman, I think you're beautiful, she's going to interpret that based on whatever her life experience is. So you might not be being creepy. You might not be trying to holler at her. You literally are trying to make her feel beautiful as a black woman.
And she may actually be beautiful and attractive. Like we don't.
Would you say it if she wasn't? All black women are beautiful.
All black
and
women
attractive.
are beautiful and attractive.
If you wasn't drinking, you would have caught that.
Oh wow. I don't want to come off as if I would be patronizing someone just for the sake of doing it. There is beauty in all of us. So if I say that you're beautiful, there's something about you that is beautiful, and there's something about you that is attractive and lovable about you. Everyone is in that particular case.
That don't necessarily mean
it doesn't necessarily
you're the
mean
one who's
that
going
I'm the
to
one.
be the
Yes,
one.
right, exactly. So for me, I'm happily married, but as we talked about, I think a couple of episodes ago, because you get married, you're not blind, and you don't suddenly lose attraction to other human beings because you see them. Both of us see people that we find attractive and can say that person is attractive without, because everybody's kind of over-sexualized and hyper-sexualized everything. True. And everything turns into, they trying to smash type thing. No, I'm good. I'm happily married, but you are attractive. Someone will find you attractive. It's not me, not going to be me, but you are attractive and someone will find that attraction in you, and that will lead to a relationship, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? I can admire your attractiveness and acknowledge it without me trying to smash, or without me trying to smash on the sly, as it were. As some
I think that women don't understand why you would tell them that if you weren't trying to smash.
I don't understand that. That's crazy to me. Because a man is only supposed to find you attractive or compliment you because he's trying to smash.
I don't know that. I do know that that's not necessarily true. I understand it. Let's just get that clear. But I don't know that I have personally had people tell me. I have had it, but not often. There are way more, the majority would be, of people who were shooting a shot more than those who were affirming.
So there are some people, even though you're married, of course, there's some dudes, they going to try.
And not necessarily.
They're going to see if it's going to work.
Since I've been married, I'm just talking about in life.
I mean, but I know that they have. Come on now, let's just be serious about that. Let's be real. I know that's happened. So.
That's another talk for another day.
Oh, we can talk about it right now. Because I know that it's happened. You
Baby,
don't have to,
when you are married, you give off unavailable energy.
That's not true. That's ridiculous. Here's the thing. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Listen, now here it is. You can give off. You remember the episode of Grand Crew where the dude did not have his wedding ring on, or he did have his wedding ring on? Which one was it?
He didn't, and then everybody tried to holler at him.
Everybody tried to holler at him. You can give off married vibes. I give off I'm married everywhere that I go. You give off I'm married. Mm-hmm. There's no trying to come in and, give off I'm single or I'm available. We give off those vibes. However, those I'm married vibes are attractive to some people. There are some people who hone in on that. There are some people who are looking for that. So there are some people who see that and say, hey, I'm finna give this a shot.
Well, I also give off the I'm married, don't shoot vibe.
That's what you say. How do you give off an I'm married, don't shoot vibe?
I don't know how to explain it.
Because it's not really a thing.
But don't nobody shoot their shot, though. And I'm hot.
That's not true, baby.
What's not true?
I don't want you to get in front of these people and tell them that they're not dudes in your inbox. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't know me.
It's okay.
They don't know me.
They don't have to know you.
Oh, you just talking about in general?
I'm talking about in general.
Oh, okay.
They can look at your page and see that we're married. If they're dumb, like some of these people that think Jamie Foxx is a clone and they don't read, they may go to your page and not look. But if they look on your page, they see that you're married and they still try to holler at you.
Most of the time, they don't go further than the profile picture. They see the profile picture and go to the inbox.
Well, I don't want you to get in front of these people and act like or try to make them believe that nobody's in your inbox trying to shoot shots.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people who know us don't shoot shots. And I ain't talking about in our circle. I'm talking about just know us.
People in our area know that we're married. They know that this is Kaz and Queen. They know that I'm your husband and you're my wife. That's Kamikaze's wife. That's Queen's husband, or that's Brad's wife. That's Fumi's husband. People that know us know that.
Yeah.
So no, none of those people that know for sure, I can say, have shot their shot at you. To my knowledge. To my knowledge. It's not like they don't want to, though.
Got it. Next. What's next?
There's somebody that does want to. Don't try to jump off subjects, because I'm guiding this conversation here tonight, baby.
All right.
But
all right.
What?
Same thing with you. Same thing with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can say right now for sure, with absolute certainty and impunity, nobody shoots their shot in my inbox.
How can that be true for you but not me?
Because you're beautiful, baby.
You're
are
gorgeous.
Too. I mean, I am. Look at me. But what I'm saying is, it just doesn't happen. I think people are scared of you.
That's the reason why they don't shoot their shot at you, because they scared of me?
Yes, I think so.
But people shoot their shot at me and
Dudes
they not
don't
scared of
give
you.
a fuck. I could be a 6-degree black belt and I can
Chicks are the ones who don't give a fuck.
I don't know about that. Yeah, to a degree. There are some people who don't give a fuck one way or the other. I can say that.
I don't know. I feel like we're just rambling.
We're not rambling.
I
was going somewhere with that. You're trying to divert me off the thing with trickery and witchcraft. You're trying to get me off the case. That's fine. That's cool. This will be another one of those conversations that we have in the privacy of our own home. That we're gonna revisit in 2 episodes, and we're gonna bring it to you guys. That's what we're gonna do.
Tell y'all what had happened when we got off for the call. This is what happened.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Of course,
that was quick.
We're near the end of season 2.
I ain't even finished my drink.
Oh, that's good. Well, I have. I usually am finished by the time we get
that's why you
anyway.
tipsy.
No, that's not.
Guzzled it down.
I don't know, but something, because I could not say reaffirmation.
Because it wasn't the right word. That's not the right word.
I'm giving them reaffirmation. It is.
No, it's not.
Reaffirming. I was reaffirming something. That's a word.
You can't reaffirm unless the affirmation is already there.
They've had the affirmation somewhere, I'm sure.
Nah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's not a guarantee.
All right, Kevin Hart with they rescinded it. They rescinded my innovation. You rescinded it?
Damn.
When did you send it? When did you send it? At any rate, man, we're going to holler at you guys next time. Thank y'all, of course, for continuing to support this podcast, man, and make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel, man. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting there slowly but surely, but we need y'all to tell a friend, man.
Like and share.
Subscribe to the YouTube page,
watch
man.
Are y'all watching? Watch it.
Yeah, watch through. Watch through. Yeah, watch through.
That's going to be our hashtag this week.
I'm Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
And this is According To Kaz Queen.
Peace.